Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to the Sikh Heritage Month virtual launch ceremony hosted by the Toronto District School Board. I am Sukhmani Kaur from Macklin Public School.
Sat Shri Akal, my name is Ranbir Singh. I am from Don Valley Middle School.
Good morning, I'm Misha Sharma from North Albion Collegiate Institute.
And I'm Benita Singh from Henry Kelsey Senior Public School. Good morning. Your MCs for today. And I'm Benita Singh from Henry Kelsey Senior Public School. Good morning. We'll be your MCs for today. On behalf of the TDSB Sikh Heritage Month Committee, we would like to welcome all of our esteemed guests, educators, students, and the TDSB community. Thank you for taking out the time to celebrate the Sikh Heritage Month with us today.
We would like to begin the celebrations with the land acknowledgement. I invite Ranbir Singh to read the land acknowledgement in English and French, and Isha will do so in Punjabi. If you are able to, please stand for the land acknowledgement and the national anthem afterwards.
We acknowledge we are hosted on the lands of the Mississaugas of the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and the Wendat. We also recognize the enduring presence of all First Nations, Métis, and the Inuit peoples. Nous reconnaissons que nous sommes accueillis sur les terres de Mississauga, des Anishinaabe, de la Confédération Haudenosaunee et du Wendat. Nous voulons également reconnaître la pérennité de la présence des Premières Nations, des Métis et des Inuits.
We ਮੰਨਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਅਨੀਸ਼ਨਾਬੇ ਹੁਡਨੇਸੌਨੀ ਕਨਫੈਡਰੇਸੀ ਅਤੇ ਵਿੰਡਰ ਦੇ ਮਿਸੀਸਾਗਾ ਦੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਮੀਨਾਂ ਉੱਤੇ ਸਥਿਤ ਹਾਂ ਅਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਪਹਿਲੀਆਂ ਕੌਮਾਂ, ਮਿਤੀ ਅਤੇ ਇਨਯੂਟ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਸਥਾਈ ਮੌਜੂਦਗੀ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਪਹਿਚਾਣਦੇ ਹਾਂ. Now Ranbir Singh will sing "Oh Canada" for us.
Oh Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Today being the second Wednesday of April, it also marks the International Day of Pink. It was started by 2 high school students in Nova Scotia as a campaign to end bullying against homophobia and to continue the fight for equality, diversity, and acceptance of all human beings.
The Sikh Gurus and their teachings impart to us the lesson of equality of all humans. We believe that all individuals deserve respect and dignity, regardless of their race, class, gender expression, disability, and social status. Equality, love, and acceptance of the whole humanity is a strong pillar of Sikh beliefs. True believers of Sikhism do not discriminate against anyone for any reason.
To begin with, I would like to invite Mrs. Rachel Chernos-Lynn, the Chairperson, Board of Trustees of TDSB, to share a few words on this special occasion.
Thank you so much for that lovely introduction from our wonderful MCs today. So I am thrilled to be here virtually with you this morning to celebrate Sikh Heritage Month at the TDSB. This celebration is an opportunity for staff and students to learn more about Sikh traditions and history by highlighting the many contributions of Sikh Canadians and learning about Sikh culture. Sharing and celebrating this helps not only raise up our Sikh students and staff, but it helps encourage conversations and build knowledge, understanding, and respect for each other in our schools and in our communities. This year's theme is CASE. CASE is one of the 5 CARs, indicators that Sikh individuals must acknowledge as part of their faith. The 5 CARs are 5 sacred articles of faith prescribed by Guru Gobind Singh Ji. Sikh Heritage Month is an opportunity to remember and honor Sikh Canadians and the important role that they have played and continue to play in communities across Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and as well as abroad. It is important that we learn about and reflect on their contributions, many of which have helped shape Canada. Sikh Canadians such as Navjot Kaur, for example, a Canadian human rights lawyer who became the first turbaned female judge in British Columbia's Supreme Court, is paving the way for generations to come. The importance of this Heritage Month lies in both its personal meaning for Sikh students and staff, trustees, and community members, but also in the spirit of learning from one another and recognizing the contributions that were made to our diverse society. I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to the Heritage Committee for organizing this launch event, the classroom content, and the activities throughout this significant month. Thank you for your contribution to enriching the learning about Sikh histories and the current context for all staff and students. You are truly making a difference in our schools and communities. Thank you so much, and also a wonderful thank you for the students participating today. It is wonderful to see the youth in action taking part in today's event. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts, Ms. Lynn. We greatly appreciate your presence. Next, I would like to request our Associate Director of Education, Ms. Leola Pond, to please address us.
Thank you very much for inviting me to the launch and providing an opportunity to share a few opening remarks. And I have to say, it's really great to see the students here. So what a wonderful time to celebrate Sikh Heritage Month. The sun is finally out after rewarding us for a very, what seemed to be a very long winter. But it's also just a time to start the mark of the spring harvest. So in preparing for today, I actually had an opportunity to take a look at the history of Sikh settlers in Canada. And it was interesting because I know it's a lot of similarities with the experience of Chinese settlers who came to Canada in the late 19th century, working really hard in jobs, in hard labor jobs, such as in the lumber mills, the logging farms and railway over in BC. So like the Chinese, the Sikhs were denied basic rights, like the right to vote. They also faced harsh immigration policies that kept families apart. And of course, not to mention the hate that the communities experienced. After many decades of hard work, and despite all of this, the Sikh community continued to work hard in community and in kinship, and persisted and flourished. So Sikh Canadians not only helped build Canada, but they remain very strong advocates for equality and social justice. The fact that community service without any expectation of reward or award or result is the fact that it's a main tenet of the Sikh faith demonstrates the generosity, selflessness, and care that has marked the history of Sikh in Canada. And for that, I offer my deepest gratitude to the Sikh community. And so with those, I wish to welcome everyone and to wish everyone a happy Sikh Heritage Month. Thank you very much.
Ms. Pond, thank you for your message on the launch of the Sikh Heritage Month. We are very much grateful to you for your presence on this occasion. Next up, we will enjoy a composition on the Sikh musical instrument Taus. Sukhmani Kaur from Maclean Public School is playing it for us. Thank you for the melodious presentation, Sukhmani. We are now going to invite Ms. Navjot Kaur for the keynote address. Vinita is going to introduce her.
Ms. Navjot Kaur is the founder of Saffron Press, a socially conscious, small, independent publisher with a mission to reimagine stories to inspire little citizens of change. Launched in 2009, Saffron Press has been pushing through systemic industry barriers to ensure true representation of the Sikh identity in children's books, beyond stereotypes. Ms. Kaur also creates books for children to teach them about various aspects of Sikhism. So far, she has 3 titles to her credit, and her first book, A Lion's Mane, won an Honor Books Award for multicultural and international awareness. Her stories focus on empathy and purpose as they bring out an intersectional perspective of the lived experience of an author, publisher, and educator. As an anti-biased and anti-racist educator, she explores curriculum through a lens of social justice. She continues that work now through partnering with school districts and community organizations and presenting to undergraduate students. Her presentations reflect nuances of often marginalized communities whose truths have remained missing from children's literature for too long. Essentially, she sets the stage for intentional conversations around social justice and ideas like stereotypes, bias, power, and privilege. Today, she will enlighten us about the importance of gays and how they form a significant part of the Sikh identity.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you so much for inviting me to be part of this space today. I cannot tell you how much I have just enjoyed listening to the students and listening to the Taus. It was just remarkable, so thank you for that. So today, the theme of case and identity. I've been thinking a lot about what I would say with regards to this theme, and I've really had to reflect on what case represents, not only for me, but for society in general. I think case is such a huge part of identity because there are people who have case, which is hair, and there are people who can also lose case for many different reasons. And I think all of those things are part of what forms identity. So when we think about case, we have to think much deeper into what the purpose of case is. And for me, that is generations of storytelling, ancestral knowledge, which all combines into case. As I comb my son's hair every single morning, I think that's such a privilege for me to be able to bond with my child at that time. As I comb his case, I often think about things that we can talk about that maybe were difficult conversations. We talk about things that maybe we have a moment to reflect on that we wouldn't have had time to reflect on earlier. So case is very powerful when it comes to the Sikh identity. It holds so much of our history. And I think the speakers before really encompassed what I would have liked to touch on, which is the historical aspect of the Sikh identity. Excuse me. So when we think about how long Sikhs have been in Canada, and we think about Sikh Heritage Month, we can really think about the purpose and storytelling that is part of this month, but shouldn't be just for 1 month of the year. It should be something that we talk about all year long. Now, I know today we have children, students from kindergarten up to grade 12 joining us. So when you're in kindergarten and you think about identity, I think many times you start from the basics, like kindness, because when you think about kindness, that's where most things stem from. When you think about kindness, you think about advocacy. You think about, am I going to speak up for someone if someone's not being kind? When you get into the older grades like 8 to 12, you're thinking more about marginalization, oppression, You're thinking about those hard topics and how do I fit into that? So when we relate all of that back to gaze and identity, I think it's integral, because every time we comb our gaze, I think it's a reminder for us every single morning of what our daily actions will look like. What is our mindset for the day? And so gaze holds so much power. I reflect on Indigenous communities, and I think about what was the thing that was taken away from them as soon as they entered residential schools, and it was gaze. So gaze holds power. It's something that if it's taken away from you as a form of oppression, then that is extremely harmful, and it really cuts into your sense of self and identity. So as we think about gaze, I think there's so much that we can reflect on, especially today on the Day of Pink, when we're really thinking about communities who face oppression, marginalization. How do we stand up to any of that in our society when there is so much that goes on around us? So I think it's so important for us to think of those tender moments. Think of those moments when we are combing our gaze, or when we are combing the gaze of a younger sibling. And we're really bonding in that moment. We're finding connection. If you are braiding somebody's hair, I think about that often, the kind of connection that you feel. And so I think it's so important when we think about gaze, because on the other hand, we also think about this book that you see on the screen right now, Gummel's Gaze. And that's a story of a young girl who is going through a coming of age story where hair is appearing all over her body. And she's thinking about how does this look? You know, do I fit in? So gaze really forms so many parts of our identity that we really have to consider all of those parts. We have to think about how it impacts our everyday. Is it giving us the courage to stand up? Is it giving us the courage to say, no, I'm not going to listen to somebody say that about another person. I need to do something about that. So yes, we always begin with kindness. We always begin with seva. We always begin with that understanding of identity, but then that also evolves into action. So whether you're in kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2, if you're in grade 5, you're in grade 7, you're in grade 11, I think these are things that we can all connect with. Is that kindness is great alone, but that's exactly what it is. It's going to stay alone if we do not join it together with action. And so gaze for the Sikh identity is integral to that notion, because every single day when the gaze is combed, when it is tied into the jura, when the jura is covered with the dastar, it's a daily action of faith saying, yes, today I am going to go out into the world and I know that I have a purpose. I have the ancestral knowledge. I have all of that history on me, in me, and I know that I have to do something with it. And so every single day we use the power of gaze to form identity. And I think that's so important for us to reflect on, because that fosters patience, it fosters love, it fosters belonging. And these are the things that we're all looking for, whether we're at school, whether we're at home, or whether we are walking around in the world. Those are the things that are important. And we all have the power to ensure that we are safe, secure, and happy, but those around us are also safe, secure, and happy, because we have evolved from the power of what gaze represents to us. Gaze is more than just hair alone. Gaze is such an integral part of our identity. It has built us to become who we are today. in a lion's mane on the first page of my book, it asks a question. And some of you may have seen this book. And the first question is, I have a lion's mane and I am different, just like you. Do you know who I am? Now that's a question many Sikh children go out into the world considering, because even today in 2023, we can walk out into the world and people don't know who we are. So it's important for us to ask questions. It's important for everyone to ask questions because that's how we learn. And Sikhi is based on the concept of always being a learner, never thinking that you know everything. We have to go into the world saying, yes, we can learn something new today. I can learn something about another person today. I can make sure that my case is even becoming stronger from the knowledge that I am learning on a daily basis, not just about myself, but also about the people around me. Gaze gives us the strength, the fearlessness to go out into the world and be who we are. Thank you so much for joining me today and being part of this amazing Sikh Heritage Month launch. And I wish you all an amazing month ahead.
Thank you for sharing this great information about the significance of Case, Ms. Kaur. The time you have taken to grace this occasion is greatly appreciated. Let us now watch a video called Taking Amrit, in which some students explain the 5 kakars that the Amritdari or the baptized Sikhs were all the time.
Friends, now we understand how important it is for everyone to learn about different cultures and respect their beliefs. In celebration of the Sikh Heritage Month, we invited students from all schools across TDSB to create posters and videos to showcase their ideas about Sikh identity and especially their understanding of the importance of Case for Sikhs.
We were overwhelmed by the interest shown by students. However, we could only choose one winning poster from the elementary schools and one video from the secondary level. It was such a difficult task to make these choices. I invite Sukhmani to announce the winners.
From the elementary schools, the winner is Yuvraj, a grade 4 student from Graysdale Public School. Let's have a round of applause for this student's poster. From the secondary schools, the winner is a grade 12 student from Thistleton Collegiate, Varunjit. Please show your appreciation for this student's video.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ. My name is Biranjit Singh and today I'll be talking about gaze. Gaze in Sikhi is a custom of letting one's hair grow naturally or remain uncut. It is the natural gift given by our gurus. Gaze and the other 4 kakars of Ganga, Kashara, Karpan and Kara were introduced by Guru Gobind Singh Ji in the year of 1699 for us Sikhs to have an identity. With that being said, I want to talk about the Sikhs who sacrificed their life to not violate the 5 kakars. I could name by Sati Das Ji and by Mati Das Ji. However, in this video, I want to talk about Bhai Taru Singh Ji. Bhai Taru Singh Ji was a Sikh who was ordered by the Mughals to cut his hair. However, he refused to, and the barbers that were responsible to cut his hair also refused to cut his hair just because they knew how Sikhs were so powerful. At the end of the day, the Mughals were forced to take Bhai Taru Singh Ji's skull. Take into consideration that taking someone's scalp is way more painful than just cutting someone's hair. This is a prime example how Tan Tan Bhai Taru Singh Ji kept his promise to his Guruji and did not violate any of the 5 kakars. The gaze is a natural crown gifted by our gurus. A person with a case can we identify if he or she is a Sikh? Well, I'll take your guys' leave. If you have any questions about case, please feel free to contact me. And if I made any mistakes throughout this video, please forgive me in advance. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Thank you to everyone who participated in this contest and shared their ideas. A huge shout out goes to Greystate Public School, from where we received the most number of entries again this year. So we can't wait to see more creative expressions next year.
I would now request Mr. Peter Singh, Executive Officer, IT and IM Services of TDSB and the Chairperson of the Sikh Heritage Month Committee, to provide his closing remarks.
Thank you, Ranveer, for introducing me. And first of all, I want to say thank you to all 4 MCs who have done an amazing job this morning during the Heritage Month celebrations. So thank you to Sukhmani, Benita, Ranveer, and Isha. You guys have been amazing this morning, and also working from remote sites and coordinating at the same time. So thank you very much for actually stepping up and doing this for us. Other pieces I wanted to make sure we touch base on it. There's been an amazing number of individuals behind the scenes who helped us to put this wonderful morning together. And also some of the other activity you might have seen over the last 2 weeks. We did have a Bhangra presentation which connected to the Sikh values also and early in the month, and a lot of you actually participated and enjoyed that day too. We also launched a few podcasts, so I encourage all the teachers and students who are listening in to look up the Sikh Heritage page. There is actually a number of podcasts the team members have put together. So thank you to all the Sikh Heritage Month committee members for putting these amazing resources together. Like every year, we still have a Heritage Month resource kit, which can also be, there's multiple kits. Those can be also signed as part of the library space. And I encourage all teachers to continue this learning with their students throughout the school year, leveraging the books. We keep adding to those resource kits every single year. So thank you. Some of you have already signed out the resource kits. And also there are 2 other activities scheduled for the remainder of the month. We on April 18th, the Tuesday at 1 p.m., there's going to be a panel discussion with 2 individuals, Rajbinder Garewal and Gurpreet Ahluwalia. And the focus of this panel discussion is for grade 8 to 12 students. And the goal here is to showcase and learn and understand the work these individuals do, brilliant Sikh women who are on mainstream TV in Toronto and across North America. And also they're very active on the social media. They will focus on fashion and lifestyle content. That's the Tuesday, April 18th at 1 p.m. Don't miss this particular time slot. And information about the link and everything else is on the Sikh Heritage page. And also it has been shared with staff through direct line, and also system leadership bulletin also being shared across the system. The second big item for us is actually Sikh Heritage Month celebration wrap up, which will be hosted on April 27th at 9:30 a.m. And it will be similar kind of learning that happened this morning. And we will have a unique keynote again happen on the wrap-up morning. And plus some of our students will be presenting more pieces related to Sikh heritage and Sikh faith. That's a learning opportunity for all from kindergarten to grade 12 students for us. With that, I wanted to still say thank you to our chair and associate director who actually came in and spent some time with us this morning. And thank you to our keynote speaker, Navjot Kaur, who put this time aside. And I'm hoping that you all enjoyed the keynote and took away quite a number of learnings from that keynote also. So with that, we would like to wrap up this morning. I want to say thank you to every one of you who have given us close to 40 minutes of your time this morning, and hope you had amazing learning this morning. And before I sign off, I wanted to reiterate the message of Joe, or our keynote speaker, shared, saying, as an individual, we want to make sure we are safe, secure, and happy. And the same, we have equal responsibility that everyone around us feels the same way. So they are safe, they feel happy, and they feel that they belong where they are. And we all welcome every one of us. Some of you are also going to be jumping right into celebrating the Pink Day across the system. So I wanted to also say best wishes for the Pink Day celebrations also. And with that, I would like to sign off. And the traditional way the Sikhs really sign off or greet people is Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Thank you, everyone.